Alright guys, so welcome back. This time we're going to be doing our fifth paper, which is S5 Excel practice number 4. And here is our source file. We have our question paper here. So let me just open that up as well. And to start off this one, we're going to be creating a new word process document in task 1. And of course, making sure our candidate details are in there. And following that, I'm going to be saving it in an appropriate format with J2232 evidence underscore followed by your center number and then candidate number. And as shown, the example here on how it's supposed to look like. So right click, new word process document, J2232 evidence underscore SC519 underscore 2026. That should be our file name, making sure that everything is okay. I have one extra number 2 here. Let's open that up. So excuse me, I still have something open from the last time. There we go. Name, surname, comma space SC519, comma space 2026 as our candidate details. This is how it's already been saved, so I'll save it again. And we're going to have our evidences as we move along. Now, task number 2 is a spreadsheet. So you are going to create a spreadsheet for Tawara Wildlife Trust to display data about funding for their global conservation projects. Now, the amount of each project cost is paid in the local currency of the country where the project is running. Now, Tawara Wildlife Trust record their finances in Tawara dollars. So, each cost must be converted into this currency. Now, we have to display Tawara currency as dollars to 2 decimal places. Worth noting, keep that in mind as well. Alright, and now what we need to keep in mind as well is that we are not supposed to edit the data files provided unless we have been instructed to do so. So data files is referring to some of the files that we've been given here. So some of them, one of or two of them will be making use for us to edit something, but there are those that we're not supposed to do anything in them. So we're going to open and examine all these 3 files in a spreadsheet package, which is going to be Excel. So let's open them all up. So that's one, okay, cost. I'm just going to close this and I'm going to open the rest, currency, and then lastly we're going to have project. Now for all 3 of them, make sure to expand all cells and fitting all the text within their own respective cells. This currency as well, making sure everything fits in their own column. And lastly, we have project as well. Make sure everything fits within their own column and cells. So let's head back to cost, okay, and let's see what we have to do. So we've been told to place in the J2232 cost file, left align in the header your candidate details, and right align in the header the automated file name and path. So both details are to be added into your header, one left, one right. So left align, sorry, is going to be our candidate details. So type in your name, surname, of course, ST519, and then 2026. On the right hand side, we are going to be added the automated file name and path. So click on file path to add both, click outside and see how it is. We're probably going to have this on the lower side just to make sure that they don't mess with each other. And again, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you everything clearly. Okay, so if we're done with this part, I'm just going to go back to normal. And we've been told to save this spreadsheet with the file name costs underscore followed by your center number and candidate number. So file, save as, in your current folder, we're going to have costs underscore SC519 underscore 2026. Make sure to save this as an Excel workbook as this is a spreadsheet. Press save, you're done. Next, we are going to enter a formula in cell C5 to look up the project name using the project code for the value, which is your lookup value, and the external file project for the array. Now this question is different, but we're still using a lookup, which is VLOOKUP. Why do I say VLOOKUP? Because the data again is being populated vertically and the data is next to it as it goes down. We are reading from T1 to know elephant orphanage, T2 giraffe sanctuary, and it goes down all the way to T18 where we get leopard watch. Okay, so now go back to cost. We've been told in C1 we're going to find the project name. So a VLOOKUP again. So VLOOKUP, T1 is going to be our lookup value, which is in B5, comma. Now, rather than having the table in the same spreadsheet, we have to go outside to another file, and then we have to make the selection for a table array. Now, whenever you're going to select a table array, do not include the titles or the headers. You're only selecting the data that is found there. And notice this. If you take a look here at the top, this has already been locked. So therefore, all you have to do next is add a comma, and this is being shown right here. Press 2 because the second column is project name, comma then again to have false as our exact match. Now press enter, okay? Then we should have our value there in the cell. Now, of course, we have to expand the cell to make sure we see the data, and we can just double check to see, is elephant orphanage T1? Yes, it is. So that means our value is correct in this cell. Now we can move to the next question. The next question is, we're gonna enter a formula in cell G5. So where is G5? G5, we have local currency ISO. Okay, so we are gonna add a formula to display the ISO of the currency for the country that is displayed in D5. So let's check that. So here we're gonna have the ISO for the country that is here, which is Kenya. Okay, and then what have we been told? And we are gonna be using the external file currency for the array. All right, so now again, I want to reiterate this. We have three kinds of lookups. We have lookup only, okay? We have VLOOKUP, all right, that's the other one. And then we have HLOOKUP. We're not going to look at XLOOKUP for now because we have no way of doing it in our current Microsoft Office. Now, again, VLOOKUP looks at the data vertically, HLOOKUP looks at the data horizontally. Lookup, I think we might be able to use it here because reason why is because the thing that we are looking for is actually in the first column. I said this beforehand. If we're doing either VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP, the lookup value needs to be in the first column. But in our case here, the country is going to be our lookup value. So Kenya is going to be our lookup value, and we're going to be displaying its ISO. And from the currency file, country is in the second column and ISO is in the first column. So it's the reverse. So in that case, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP will not work. So in that case, we have to use a lookup function. So lookup, there's two ways you can do this, right? So we will be using the first one, whereby we're going to have our lookup value, which is in D5, comma, and then the lookup vector, meaning where are we, or what's the range we are going to find Kenya in. And Kenya in the currency file is found under the country column. So we are going to highlight the whole column with all the countries, without the headers of course, all the way to Zimbabwe. All right, so we started off from Afghanistan all the way to Zimbabwe, comma, okay, and the result vector will be what we're looking for as a result from what we are looking up. And again, according to the question, we are going to be displaying or looking up the ISO. So AFN is the start, and we're going to select everything under the ISO column up until ZWD. Okay, so that will be Zimbabwe dollar. Now, I'm just going to press enter, and before that, check where I see Kenya. Where is Kenya? Kenya, 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 Kenya. So Kenya is shilling, and we need to see KES. So if I press enter, I should be seeing KES here as the local currency ISO. So again, I used a lookup because the lookup value was not in the first column, but it was in the second. And by making use of the lookup, I was able to select my lookup vector where I will find my lookup value and a result vector where I will find the result from what I'm looking up for. Okay, so KES should be the correct answer here. And now I am able to move on to the next question where I have to enter a formula in cell H5. So H5 is here. So cost in Tarawa dollars. Let's see what we have to do with this. Okay, so we are going to calculate the cost in Tarawa dollars by dividing the value in the cost in local currency column by the exchange rate. Okay, hold up. So we are going to find the cost in Tarawa dollars, right? Okay, that's what we're looking at. Now, this is done by dividing the cost in local currency column. So cost in local currency is here. So we'll be using this one first. And it's going to be divided by the exchange rate. So this value here is going to be divided by the exchange rate. So where is the exchange rate? It's not in here. Let's check in another file. Okay, so exchange rate is found here. So we have to use a function or a formula that will allow us to find what is the exchange rate for this country, and then we're going to divide this value by their exchange rate. So where is Kenya? Kenya, 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 Kenya. Where is Kenya? So there is Kenya, right? And its exchange rate is 132.21. So we're going to have this value divided by 132.21, and we're going to display the results here. So first off, I think we need to find a way to get the exchange rate here. So my idea is that now we have to use a lookup or VLOOKUP for us to do this. But the thing is, I think we're going to use a VLOOKUP because we already have KES, and since KES is in the first column here, which is the ISO, I'll be able to make use of a VLOOKUP to get the exchange rate. So let's start off with the lookup, right? So equal VLOOKUP. My lookup value is going to be KES. Where am I going to find KES? It's going to be in this table, right? The whole thing all the way down to Zimbabwe dollars, where we have 451.7. This is going to be my whole table array. Press comma. Now, where is the exchange rate found in? Which column is it in? Because I am looking for the exchange rate. So exchange rate is in the fourth column. So I'm going to add number 4. You'll see it here on top, right? So 4, that's my column index number because exchange rate, comma, I need to add false for me to get an exact match, right? So I'm going to press enter and I'll see if I get 132.21 as I should. So that is the exchange rate. Now this exchange rate, I'm going to be making use of it because first off, before all of this, I need to have my cost in local currency. And this cost in local currency is going to be divided by the whole VLOOKUP, which will give me 132.21. And with that, let's press enter and see we get this value right there. So this should be the cost in Tawara dollars. Okay, very good. I believe this is correct. Okay, I'm sure it is though. Okay, so now I think I got the 6 points for both questions here. Now let's move on to question number 5. So now I need to replicate all that I've done in steps 2, 3, and 4 for all transactions. That means we're going to go back to costs. Elephant orphanage is going to be replicated all the way down. Expend as needed. KES and the Tarawa dollars is going to be replicated all the way down as well. There's no errors, everything is good, so it's fine, right? Now we can move on to the next step. Where is the next question? There we go. We are going to merge cells A1 to H1. So A1, let's move to the side, to H1. Let's merge and center this, right? And then we're going to insert a new row between rows 3 and 4, and we're going to add a new row in between rows 1 and 2. So in between row 3 and 4, so 3 and 4 is here. If I want to add a new row, it will go up. So highlight row 4, right click on row 4, and insert a row there. So now it will become between those two rows. And the same for these two. So go on row number 2, right click and insert there as well to have one in between them as well. Good. And now we are going to format the rows 1 to 6 to look like this. And what do you know? We have this value here. So this actually can be an idea on what are the values that we were supposed to have. So let's go and check. So elephant orphanage we know is correct. KES we know is correct. Now let's see if this value is also correct. So 92.032373 and I have 7274. So actually that is fine because I have not rounded this off just yet. So we can deal with that as we go along. So let's do everything as we're supposed to, right? So first off, we've not been given any idea on what to do. So actually we can just carry the steps out with our intuition. So we've not been told which colors to use, but I can tell this is white. So let's take this, let's set it to white, and then let's probably set it with a dark background. Good. So after that, we're going to increase the size so that everything falls in between column C up until F. So let's just increase the size until everything falls between here, approximately. So I'll leave this here just for now because I have to deal with the rest. Let me zoom out a bit, right? Now, row number 2 has been reduced in size. So let me just reduce the size up until around here. Yeah, correct. And the first quarter and Janma, these two, they have been bolded. So apply bold to them. Okay, and I can tell as well that the cell is a bit smaller too. So I just reduce the size by fitting it to the text. So just double click here. Okay, that fits. Oh, and now I can see this. Okay, so see, the Torah is on the C, so but it has gone past F. So I'll wait for me to deal with that part as well. So now 5, okay, has been reduced in size as well, about yay big. So a little bit, I need to see the little thing here. Let me just zoom in a bit just so that we can see it perfectly. So about here, a bit lower here-ish. Okay, then date has been centered vertically and horizontally, and all the way to cost in Tara dollars. So we have a few things that has been wrapped around their cells. So what I'll do is, let me zoom out, highlight all the headers, I'll center all of them, I'll vertically center them as well, and then I'll wrap the text around the cell. Now, all I have to do is simply reduce the size of what's needed. So I'll have project code. So reduce the size here, and let me just bring this down a bit more so I can see project code. Project name is on one single line and it's centered, very good. Country is centered in the middle, very good. Order number is on one single line. Cost in local currency. So we have cost in local on one line and currency at the bottom. So we have to bring currency towards the bottom, like so. Good. Now, local currency ISO, 3 lines, each word on one single line. So let's bring it like this. Now we have to expand it down a bit, okay, like so. And then cost in Tarawa dollars also on 3 lines. Cost in is at the top, so I'll just literally just bring this over Tarawa, bring it down, cost in Tarawa dollars all the way down. Now all of these, as they should be bold. So let's add bold as well. Now let's make sure it fits to the cell. Country is the same. Do you have anything that's longer than that? Oh, let me just check. Okay, United States of America is long, so we have to leave it at that. Order number, like I think we can just add a little bit of space, and as you can see as well, Tara Wildlife falls in between the two. Good, that's good, that's very good. Cost in local currency is fine, cost in Tara dollars is also fine, but we also need to have the numbers showing exactly what we need. And if we expand this a bit further, we can get the values as it's supposed to be. 032373. Wonderful. Good. So that means we've gotten the 7 points as we actually are supposed to be getting them. Okay, that's it. And I think, yeah, this is fine. Now I think we can maybe bold this because it looks like it was bolded. Yeah, I think we got it correct. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe you can just bring it to 23 maybe. Yeah, we can leave it at that. That is how the formatting is supposed to look like. And now we can just apply the appropriate formatting to column H. So column H is all the cost in Tara dollars. And this is supposed to be display Tara currency as dollars to 2 decimal places. So this all the way down here is going to be set to currency, and because it's dollars to 2 decimal places, we just literally click on it and we don't have anything more to do. After that, let's check out the next part. We're gonna save our spreadsheet. Okay, so save or Control S, and then we're gonna print the spreadsheet showing the formulae. So go to formulas, show formulas, make sure to fit all text within their own cells to show everything. We have a lot to show. Make sure that everything is clear to see, right? Like so. Do not miss anything. Go to file, go to print. I'm going to be printing to PDF. You guys don't have to, okay? And we're gonna make sure the following is set. Make sure it is in landscape orientation. So orientation, landscape. And then once you're done with your landscape orientation, of course, you need to actually set this part up where you've been told to make sure that the row and column headings are displayed. So therefore, head up to page setup, go to sheet, row and column headings, just click on that part, press OK, and then you should see the details as you see here. Okay, so that is shown, and then we're going to make sure that all the contents are fully visible. We have 9 pages, so that's a lot, but we can dial that down a bit more. So from 100%, bring that at least 80, see where it falls down to. 4 pages, is everything clear to see? Yeah, I think we are good to go at the very least. So therefore, we can just print that on right there. Click on print on your end. Let me just put this in the correct file. We are in, let me just double check, sorry, yes, practice 4 here, and then this is going to be our first printout. So printout 1, press save. That should be it for this part. 4 pages should be enough. If you can bring it down to 3, that's fine as well. Once we've printed, then we have to print the spreadsheet showing the values. So in that case, remove show formulas. Make sure to expand everything as it should. Okay, double click, expand everything, and maybe just bring this back to the where it was. Cost in Tara dollars, local currency ISO H on one line, cost in local currency. This is supposed to be as so. Good. Order number, date as it should. There we go. This needs to be printed, of course, the way it's supposed to be. So let's go to file and click on print. Then what are the specifications? We've been told that it needs to be on landscape, contents fully visible, and the row and column headings are not fully displayed. We've already dealt with that one. We need to make sure that everything fits on one single page. Okay, so everything fits on the page width in on single page. So let's just make sure that that is fine. Should be okay. Let's go to page setup, sheet, remove row and column headings. Maybe just bring this up to maybe 90 and see how it is. That should be okay. Can we bring it up a bit more? Let's try at 100% and see where it is. Okay, so 100% brings this to 6 pages. Let's bring this down to 95. Okay, that's 3 pages long. But since it's bringing us to 3 pages, let's leave it at least 92, maybe. Okay, press OK, down to 2 pages, everything's nicely there, everything fits on the width perfectly, and now we can simply print this one as well. This shall be our second printout. So, and again, guys, you're not supposed to do print as PDF. I'm just doing this for me just to show you how it is. Okay, so we can just check that right now in our folder. Printout 1. This is how it's supposed to look like. Okay, with all the values and formulas there. And then printout 2. This is how it's supposed to look like, fitting one single page. Wonderful. So that's about it. Let's check the following question, and that's another sorting. So sort the data into date order with the oldest date first. So let's go to here. And again, if we're gonna do a question whereby we're gonna sort the data, first off, highlight your headers, go to home, sort and filter, filter. And then if we're going with the oldest, the sorting is already telling us which one we have to use. So oldest to newest, that is 16/01/2022. And then we are going to extract only the data where the country is either Indonesia or Malaysia. So what can you do? Country, drop down, filters, contains, we're gonna say it contains either Indonesia or, as it's been said, to contain also, Malaysia. Okay, press OK. That should get us what we need. This can also be done by simply dropping down and removing select all, select Indonesia, select Malaysia, press OK. That's done. Following this, we've been told to print the spreadsheet showing the values. So this is what we're going to be printing. File, we're going to press print. There's nothing for us to do. Making sure it fits single page landscape. This is what we have, one single page, and then everything is fully visible as it should, and this should be our printout number 3. Okay, save, that's done. And then we are going to remove the extract selection criteria so that all the data is visible. That means we're going to remove this by clicking clear. Okay, and then we are going to extract only the data where the ISO is EUR and the date is before March 2022. So for this part, we are going to go to ISO. We are going to say text filters equals to EUR. So it's going to be equal to only that. Press OK. There we have our values. And now the date is before March 2022. So date, we're going to go to date filters before, we're going to say March, or March is the 3rd. So 01/03/2022. Press OK, and there is our selection. Okay, so there we go. Now we're going to print the spreadsheet showing the extract, showing the values. This is our selection, file, print. This is our data. We don't have much to do. Single landscape page. Everything is shown there. There we go. This is going to be our printout number 4. Press save. That's it. And that should be all she wrote. Total of 46 points. That's awesome. Okay, so there we go, guys. That is all for this paper. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.